Welcome. This is Back to the Bins. I'm your host, Mr. B. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you've been here before, thanks so much for coming back, and if you're new here, thanks so much for stopping by. This is a comic book collecting channel, and I'm a comic collector. These Sunday videos are intended to showcase the books I picked up this past week at my local comic shop. I've got a pull list, so I'm pretty familiar with what's happening in comics today. I love digging through the dollar bins, and I love digging through the back issue bins. So, if that sounds interesting to you, and you'd like to join me on my journey back to the bins, why don't you take a look over here, and I'll show you what I picked up. Alright, and like I said, these are the books I picked up this past week at my local comic shop. 204 Comics in Winnipeg, and as per usual, we start in alphabetical order, and today that takes us to the back issue bins. Oh, yes, this was a fairly lean week. I know you're already just staring at this gorgeous cover. This was already a lean week, so like I say, I gotta help support the LCS, so I dug through the bins and I found this. The Avengers issue 146 from January of 76. A beautiful, absolutely beautiful Gil Kane cover. This also includes the death of Assassin, or Maria. But this was a cover by, I thought, my goodness, that black just makes everything pop. Central location of the Avengers. This is going down, and I don't think I knew this cover existed before I saw it in the bins, but this is going to go down as one of my favorite covers of all time. I think this is just perfect. This is such a beautiful looking team. Very, very awesome, and I could continue to gush about this cover, but there is a lot of books this week, folks. We've actually got some bonus material for you. So, because of the small week, we've got some bonus material. But in keeping with the poll list, here we have something new for this week from DC. We have Black Canary Best of the Best issue number 4. This is the Ryan Sook A cover. I just like seeing Canary and Ollie having a smooch in the squared circle. I guess it's a boxing ring. The squared circle's for wrestling, right? Anyway, I kind of have just now picked up on this book. Been getting it, but issue 3 took me somewhere with this book finally where I was like, okay, now we're going somewhere. Very happy to see that. Love Black Canary. Let's hope this continues, and the trend is this book actually comes through in the end of being pretty awesome. Because I did not want to watch or read a fight between Canary and Shiva in a boxing ring. That's not what I thought was going to happen. And maybe it's not. Alright. Oh, yes. Saw this online at 204comics.com. And I said, can you put this one in the bin for me? My bin for me, because I want this. Here we have... Ooh boy. Captain America and the Falcon. Issue number 154 from July of 1972. With a fantastic Sal Buscema cover. This is just fantastic. This is the first appearance of Bucky as Nomad, or is it the Bucky in this issue will become Nomad? I guess it's virtually the same thing, but, you know, nuance is everything in the comic world. But I just had to have this cover. I thought this was beautiful. Again, love what is going on this cover. Captain America fan. Love all of these characters. So cool. Love it. Wanted dead or alive. Awesome. I guess online is kind of like back issues, I guess. And in keeping with the back issues, dug through the bins and found this one for the Captain America collection. Thought this was a fun cover. This is issue number 351 from November of 1988. That is a Kieran Dwyer cover, and we've got special guest star Nick Fury, ex-agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., alongside his old pal Captain America. Couldn't say no. Collecting this particular run of Captain America, so all good. Glad to see this. $3. Happy camper right here. Okay, here we go, folks. This could be cover of the year. This might make it all the way to the end. This is spectacular. This is Detective Comics issue 1094, an Ariel Olivetti variant cover. I can't So good. So much detail back here. The depth of the Batcave, the technology going on, yet the sort of steampunk-esque thing. Batman looks fantastic. He looks a little hurt. His vulnerability, everything is happening in this cover, and it is gorgeous. And I also heard that the book is pretty good too. But this was a cover by. Oh yeah, and then the dollar bins. I don't know how many of you out there know this, but I really started collecting comics back in the late 80s, early 90s, and I was primarily a G.I. Joe collector. Didn't get the whole run, trying to do that now, and I was happy to find this in the dollar bins. This is the G.I. Joe Order of Battle. This is issue number 1 from October of 1986. And basically gives you a rundown of all the characters of G.I. Joe. It's a dossier for each character. And there's more. So that's awesome. Love that. Then we have issue number 2, also from the dollar bins. This is from November of 1986. And this has actually got a first appearance of Taurus. Don't remember Taurus in the comics. Might have been a little before I started reading this book. I picked it up in about... Yeah, well, I guess it would be, because I picked it up in about 1988. Maybe some stuff from 87. Again, love this cover. Classic Who's Who. Love it. Scarlet front and center. We got some serious Snake Eyes here. Stalker, Snow Job, Roadblock. I love it. It's so good. Oh, yeah. And then we got issue number 3 from the dollar bins of the G.I. Joe Order of Battle. This is from December of 1986. These have been Herb Trimpe covers, or Herb Trimpe, I'm not sure how you say it, but these have been his covers. I love this too. So now we're getting into sort of the Cobra side of the G.I. Joe Order of Battle. Super cool here. And we cap it off with issue number 4. Right there from March of 1987. So right around this time I would have started probably reading G.I. Joe as well as watching the cartoon, which was easily one of my favorite cartoons. Who didn't love it? It was a commercial for the toys, right? But this is super cool. I love adding this to the already existing collection of G.I. Joe stuff, or G.I. Joe comics that I have. Super neat. Love that. Oh yeah, and this was hanging around in the dollar bins as well, so I couldn't say no. Here we've got the G.I. Joe yearbook, issue number 3 from March of 1987. Awesome Mike Zeck cover. Super cool there. This is actually a reprint of issue number 21, which... if you know, is the silent issue of G.I. Joe. Snake Eyes centric. Saved by Scarlet and Storm Shadow. Love that. This book also contains stuff about the TV show. Right around this time, Serpentor was coming on to the TV show. So there's a preview there. I think there's a lot of sort of previews and what's to come in the world of G.I. Joe. Not just in comics, but I think maybe in toys and definitely in the TV show. So super cool that this was about. Didn't know about it back then, but... glad to get it now, and nice to get a reprint of one of the most sought-after issues of G.I. Joe. Easily one of the most important of the whole run. But this is cool. Love that. And then keeping with the pull list, here we go. One of my favorite comics. Love this book. This is Green Arrow. This is issue number 21 with the beautiful Taurin Clarke A cover. This story, the last issue was absolutely fantastic. I loved it. Easily a ramping up point of the whole book. Loved it. Saw a lot of people on League of Comic Geeks saying it might have been the best issue of Green Arrow so far. This is issue 21. I'm going to stop collecting at issue number 24. Just to move on. Been loving Green Arrow. Was never into Green Arrow before. Was never into DC before. But in getting back into comics, I wanted to get back into DC, or I wanted to get into DC. So I wanted to make myself familiar with a lot of the main characters, Green Arrow, of course, being one of them, I guess in a minor way. He's overlooked, I think. But have loved this, but just want to move on. There's so many more comics coming. It's an expensive hobby, so you got to trim, you got to cut, you got to do things once in a while. We'll always know we can come back to Green Arrow, and we definitely will. And over to the dollar bins, again trying to help out the LCS when the distribution issues caused, I think I had 4 books from DC this week. I would have had almost 20 comics, so I had to do a little bit more digging. And here we got Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos, issue 159 from August of 1980. fantastic Dick Ayers cover. I love me a good World War II comic, you know that. I love Sergeant Fury, he's one of my absolute favorites. I can't say no. This is a higher number issue, so there's already going to be a reprint. I love the lower numbers because they're original comics, but doesn't matter. I can't say no to Dollar Bin Fury, you know? Speaking of the dollar bins, here we've got this. Couldn't say no to this either. This is a run I'm collecting because it's easy and affordable. This is X-Men Classic, issue number 47 from March of 1980. That's a Steve Little cover. This is just a reprint of Uncanny X-Men issue 143. I'm particularly fond of this because it's got a holiday cover on the original, and I didn't realize when I picked it up that it also had a Christmas tree with gifts here. I love that. So, and she's reading 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, I guess. Super cool. Love that. Nice to add that to the collection. And that was everything for this week, folks, but still pretty small. And I'd like to show you a bit more. So I have a lot more. This is from October during the Winnipeg Comic Con. After I had left Winnipeg Comic Con, the following Sunday, I went down to the LCS because the LCS was doing a big sale. And they were doing 25% off just about everything, really, including online orders. So before I even got there, made an online order, and these are the books I picked up. Alright, right here we have got All Out War issue number 4 from December of 1979. That's a Joe Kubert cover. Once again, I can't say no to some World War II goodness. All kinds of stuff, the Viking Commando, you know, the 1 Minute War, Execution on Demand. I'm in. Love this. Cool cover. And for $3 with 25% off, I mean, hello. And I picked up another run that I'm trying to work on, some Avengers from the late 80s, early 90s. This is Avengers number 332 from March of 1991, and we've got ourselves a little Doctor Doom action, so we'll call this Doom Patrol right here. Love that. That's a Paul Ryan cover, and like I said, just trying to collect this era Avengers because I did when I was 15, and I'm glad to find it back in the bins again. So here we had another $3 comic. Couldn't say no. Follow that up with the next issue of the Avengers. This is issue number 333 from April of 1991. I would have turned 15 at that point. This is a Tom Morkin cover. Larry Hama doing the writing on this Avengers run. And again, more Doom Patrol, folks. Doom hype is real. I couldn't say no to a great Doom cover for the Avengers. I'm just not going to say no to a Doom cover. I mean, come on. Super awesome. Oh, boy. This is beautiful. Right here, folks, we got Captain America and the Falcon. Issue number 137 from February of 1971. That is a Saul Buscema cover. Captain America, the Falcon, and Spider-Man on the cover. I couldn't say no. $35 book, pretty expensive for a guy like me who loves digging through the dollar bins and the back issue bins. But sometimes you find stuff like this in the back issue bins, or, in this case, the online bins. And when you're getting 25% off, I mean, it's kind of like, I have to. This is such a beautiful, beautiful comic. Absolutely awesome. It's a run I'm collecting. So happy for me. I hope you are too. And the LCS had it graded in and around a 6.0. I'm happy about that. Spider-Man on the cover. So cool. Also couldn't say no to more Captain America as I was already, picking some up. So here we have Captain America and the Falcon, issue number 166 from July of 1973. That's a Rich Buckler cover. Again, I love the fact that Cap is fighting some mummified zombie-type folks. Love that. Falcon as well. This is super cool. Night of the Lurking Dead. Come on, Disney Plus should be making this too for one of those Halloween episodes. In keeping with Captain America, we got this issue. Love this. This is issue number 280 from December of 1982. That's a Mike Zeck cover. Of course, we had Mike Zeck doing the G.I. Joe yearbook earlier. I love this sort of pseudo-bondage look. It's pretty classic for a very early era Captain America, but here we have him chained up, Scarecrow's coming after him. I couldn't say no to this. I love it. Super, super nice. Mike Zeck, always great stuff. Oh man, here is another beautiful cover right here. One of my favorite characters, one of my favorite villains. Daredevil, the Man Without Fear. This is issue number 82 from August of 1971. And an absolutely gorgeous, absolutely spectacular Gil Kane cover. How could I say no for $8? We got 20-cent Daredevil. Super, super clean looking copy. I love this. I had to grab it. So good. LCS had it graded at about a 7.5. I dig it. Also got this. This was a cover by. Also love the character, of course. This is Doctor Strange, issue number 5 from March of 1989. That is a Butch Gucci cover. I just love the way it looked. I'm pretty sure that's Clea, I think, right? But yeah, I couldn't say no to this. Just a nice cover by, and a beautiful copy as well. Good early 90s goodness right there, or late 80s goodness. Oh, near and dear to my heart, right here we've got some beautiful, beautiful Fantastic Four. This is issue number 96 from December of 1969. So I'm going to assume that qualifies as Silver Age still. That is a Jack Kirby doing the cover of this. I love it. Fantastic Four, one of my absolute favorites of all time. This is, not even 100, so this is low 100 stuff. I'm into it. $15, 25% off, sold. So good. Love it. Follow that up with another issue, the right next to it issue. This is issue number 97 from January of 1970. Once again, we got a Jack Kirby cover, The Monster from the Lost Lagoon. This is almost like the run that's happening now in the way these are just sort of one-shot stories. Beautiful. I love it. Couldn't say no. Been trying to collect these since I was 16 years old. Glad to have it. Now, I've also been trying to get issues 200 to 400 of the Fantastic Four. And so here we have issue number 202 from October of 1978. That is a Joe Signett cover. Very, very nice. Love that. Just nice to have it as part of the collection. As was this, some low 200s. This is issue number 218 from February of 1980. That's an Al Milgrom cover. Love that. We got Spider-Man in there. So good. So good. And Electro. Oh, man. Love it. And then we added more to the Fantastic Four. Because, everything is about the Fantastic Four. Now, mind you, I got this back in October. So here we have issue number 240 from March of 1982. That's a John Byrne cover. This is good stuff right here. I love this. I love seeing Black Bolt and everything that's going on. Love it. The Inhumans. Classic Fantastic Four adversaries. This too, folks. This too, I have decided, probably one of my favorite covers of all time. Just love the way this looks. This is issue number 262 from October of 1983. Once again, we got a John Byrne cover. Gorgeous. Love it. Told you this is a big, big haul, folks. Right here, more Fantastic Four. This is issue number 334 from September of 1989. Walt Simonson cover. Love it. I love Ben's sort of cute look on this time frame. Very, very awesome. Although Reed's strikingly handsome as well, isn't he? Oh yeah, this was something that I was really excited to get right here. One of my favorite characters as well. Of course, we got Gambit. Number 1 from October of 1993. That is a Lee Weeks cover. This is the first appearance of Jean-Luc Lebeau, Henry Lebeau, Kandra, and the death of Henry Lebeau. Love that. Very, very nice. $6, 25% off, sold. Also got this, because I love the character. I just told you that. This is Green Arrow issue number 1 from October of 1987. Mike Grell cover. What can you say about it? Iconic cover, iconic book, iconic character. Come on. We love a good milestone issue, so here we have Thor, issue number 300 from July of 1980. And there's a Keith Pollard cover. I am here for that. The Kirby crackle is everywhere. Look at Thor. Looks fantastic. This is beautiful, beautiful artwork. I'm in. Well, I like a good milestone cover. So we went from 300 all the way up to number 400 from October of 1988. That's a Ron Friends cover. This is the first appearance of Eldred. Absolutely awesome. Love that. Love getting these nice milestone covers. So cool. Well, folks, that's everything. Hopefully you enjoyed that. And how about we get back to the real world, shall we? Well, that was a great stack of books. Hopefully you enjoyed what you saw. And if you did, why don't you like, comment, and subscribe? It really helps to build the channel, and I'd love to develop a community of people who just really love comics. Thank you so much for joining me today. We'll see you next week. And until then, remember, comics are good.